Hi, this is Gloria, your life coach. Welcome to another episode of Life's a Shuffle.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson, life coach, leadership coach, motivational speaker, and health coach. And welcome to another episode of Life's a Shuffle. And it's Thursday and it's freestyle, no topic. So I gotta get something off my chest. What a frustrating week this week, Gloria. I mean, okay, so I think I talked about last week that I had to resubmit some paperwork to dissolve my marriage or whatever that was.
Hmm.
Anyways, when I was 21. So submitted paperwork again. Guess what happens?
What?
It gets rejected again.
Again?
Again. Like it's like I want to go back to third time's a charm. I mean, and so for me, once it's something I want to get done, I'm on it. Like I as soon as I, do my routine, wake up in the morning, go to computer, log in, check. Oh, okay, no updates, check, no updates. Okay. I kept checking, right? Because after I got it all submitted and signed Monday, so we got the the second stipulation. So stipulation is this. So those out there that don't understand that, if anything you file, so difference to the credit report, right? You don't pay a bill, it goes to collections, it goes to a third party, blah, 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 right? All that difficulty to getting off your credit and following up and emails and submitting stuff is a pain. Okay. Think about the courts. So my marriage has been on the docket for like 13 years. And obviously I had to go through, find her. You guys heard the story before. So what happens is that I didn't know. I was hoping statute of limitations would run out and it's kind of dissolved on its own, right? But it didn't. So when things go for a long period of time on your, say in this case, family law, things been on there for a while, the divorce and dissolution, nullity of marriage, it sits on for 13 years. What happened is that if it's past 5 years, you have to file stipulation for extension. Like you have to plead to the court why it needs to be extended. And guess what? Welcome to California. Here's a fee. So just to file the paperwork, not only did to pay the attorney to file the paperwork and the time she wasted going back and forth with the emails, and the time she had to facilitate the paperwork, you have to pay $435 to the great California because you waited so long. So here's another ding. So why it was rejected, only God knows. Anything dealing with the government, it's not really like thorough. All it says, you log in online, rejected, notice.
And
Okay,
so
what does that mean?
there's no explanation as of yet, I would say that why.
No, I just reached out to my attorney and said, hey, you know what's first? It's like, oh my God. First, I felt okay. All right, here we go again. It's rejected. Okay, why? So I emailed my attorney. I'm like, hey, if you don't know, I did check online. It was rejected. Can I be misunderstanding it? Because it was said notice rejected. Then parentheses paperwork submitted. So I'm like, okay, was it submitted then rejected or rejected? Now it's saying submitted. It's really very archaic. Okay, things are not self-explanatory. We look up things online. All right, and obviously it's the court system. So she says, she responds back, this is very frustrating. I have no idea what the judge wants. And, when I get to the bottom of this, I'll get the paperwork back and see what else they need. Because it's constant. What do you need? I need this. Okay, what do you need?
Hmm.
I want them specifically like our system is so messed up. We're spending more money trying to facilitate paperwork. All I'm doing is like paper pusher. I push paperwork, gets rejected. Okay, we want to be correct. Okay, I correct it, push it. I wish they would specifically say, I need these, and once these are accomplished, I will submit it. Here it's like a touch and a go. You submit it, it's rejected. Submit it, rejected. So she says she's very frustrated. Obviously this is an open and shut case because first of all, we had no kids together. We have as far as no assets together, we didn't own a home together. We don't have any finances together. We never really we got married and never really lived together. So when we got married in 2007, we never lived together. So we got married in LA, and when I left LA, came back to Bay Area to go to my job. She stayed down there, and the objective was come out here, find a place. We're gonna get married. Well, not get married. We're gonna live together, and all this kind of stuff, right?
So that never
Uh,
happened?
we never lived together. We lived together briefly before we got married for like 2-3 months, and she went back to her baby's daddy.
Wait, so hold on. You guys live together here in the
We lived
Bay
together
Area.
here for
Okay,
like a
okay.
hot second. Hot second means like 2 weeks, three
Yeah, so
weeks.
she
Okay.
did
It
end
was,
up, yeah, so she ended up moving here to live with you and then she left and moved back. Okay, got it.
well, here the story goes like this. So we left San Diego together. Obviously, I was getting a job promotion and I want her to come with me. So we
Hmm.
moved up here together. That was March of 2006 with her 4 kids and all this stuff. And so it was just a tumultuous time between March of 2006 through May because it was a back and forth. She go back to court. Then her baby's daddy wanted to keep her, meaning that not like kidnapped her, but keep her as far as he would plead, 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 use the kids. She would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so what happened is that May 2006, he drove up here, they got the four kids, and left him for good. Okay, so what happened? I was in a place of very despair, frustration. I was upset. I was very hurt. I never cried that much in my life. And actually, I said one thing. I said to myself, and I may eat my own words, but 2006, I said I would never cry over a woman again. Again, I probably will eat my words one day, but when you're in that state of despair and you're lonely, remember, I moved from San Diego here. I don't know anybody. I don't know where to go. I'm getting lost. I said I would never cry over a woman again. So what ended up happening is that we end up rekindling, meaning that we end up talking again. So, human nature is to pay back people for what they did to us. So inherently, we want revenge. So I wanted
Revenge.
revenge.
Yeah.
And this is all because I was 21 years old. When you're 21 years old, you know nothing. And obviously at 37, I still don't know that much either, right? But I've definitely evolved and got more confident. So I was really attached to holding on to her because my idea was I cannot find someone sexually better than her.
Mm.
So that screwed me all up. I mean, I thought the sex was so spectacular that I can never find nothing like that again. And that's what helped me to her was that it wasn't like she was this wonderful cook. Oh my gosh, she took care of her man. She did my laundry. She was a millionaire. She drove a nice car. She graduated from Harvard with a double law degree. No, it was just sex was good. And when you're 21 years old, it's easy to get hypnotized by crazy stuff. So I want my revenge. So what ended up happening is we rekindled, meaning that we started talking again. And I saw in back of my mind, I'm going to get revenge. So I asked her to marry me. She was excited. We're all excited. We got married because I want revenge. After I left her that day, and after being married, I was driving back home from LA. And LA is about 4.5 hour drive to Bay Area. I was overcome with regret, and I'll tell you why. So when I was planning my revenge, I was also dating somebody else. Okay, so I was dating a wonderful woman. I won't say her name, but if you ever seen pictures of me on Instagram, the name is tattooed on my chest. Hint, hint. Okay, so we ended up. She was that. That was a wonderful woman. I mean, what an amazing person, caring, great, loyal, educated, smart, ambitious, going places, knew how to dress. Everybody loved her. Okay, but back in my mind, need my revenge. So as I got
Mhm.
married to my current wife, ex, whatever, I was driving back up because I saw all this guilt, all this shame because I made a mistake. I did not want to do, but I went through it because it was like once the ball was set in motion, getting a wedding dress, because obviously I bought the wedding dress for her too. All these things are set in motion. It's hard to go back out once it's set in motion, right? But even then, I was guilty that night of a wedding night, and you know, I had a lot of guilt for a lot of years because the fact I lied to her, not the fact that I lied to my wife or soon to be ex wife, but the fact that I lied to the person because they didn't deserve that. And actually, just saying it right now feels very freeing. But it's back to the point is that I was kind of in a point where I wanted revenge, I wanted payback, I wanted her to feel the pain. So my objective was get married, then leave anyways. I think deep down inside. But once the balls were rolling and in motion, I couldn't take that back, and I had opportunity. I remember this. So to my wedding day, quote unquote, we got married at this chapel. Pretty much, you show up there, family members come, and there it is. It wasn't planned out. It wasn't thought. Everything was last minute. Matter of fact, the wedding day, I got lost for 1 hour. I remember. I'll never forget. We're assigning the license, all that stuff like that. 'Cause that's what they did at the same time. Um, she says this is gonna be the person that's basically notarizing our stuff to be signed said this is gonna be a disaster wedding, and her and I kind of played it off like, oh, what do you mean, and she was right. Within a few weeks, we were filing for divorce already. What happened is that I started lying because I was seeing other person, and obviously, I think it's smart. The cell phone I had was under my ex-wife's name, but I was just paying the bill because at the time I had terrible credits. I couldn't get a cell phone, but she could. And she went on the phone bill one day and saw this number and called it up, and they did a three-way on me. I swear to God, that happened to me. I called up,
Oh my God.
they did a three-way, I got busted. You know, so yeah, so that's my story. But yep, back to the attorney. It was. She said, "We'll get through this. There's light in the tunnel. There is something wrong. There's something we're just missing or not seeing, right? So maybe we have to go back to the beginning of how it was filed to
Hmm.
see what we're missing." Um, but yeah, it's kind of a interesting time. But I think this is a great time because I don't want to have this on my list of to do. It's like spoiled milk. I think I said before in the podcast. I want to have this thing off my list, and I want to have all parties involved move on with their life, including myself,
Hmm.
because she's moved on, whatever she's doing, God knows. 'Cause like I said, we've never, I mean, ever since we got married in 2007 and January, February, whatever day it was, I can't remember my wedding date, right? Most people remember their wedding date. I don't. And obviously, I think I suppressed those feelings so much that I just don't remember anything but the big stuff. Um, Matter of fact, I ain't got a ring at Walmart. That's how desperate I was. No money, no plan. I got a ring at Walmart. It was a super Walmart right here in Gilroy for like $325.
Well,
And
you
I just gotta laugh
did.
about that.
You did say that. I think you mentioned this once that if you've waited in 13 years, so what's another 6 months or more or so, as long as it gets done, and I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, it will get happen. Like Trini said, light in the tunnel. So it's gonna get done. So that's kind of my week so far. I wasn't as down as I was before when it first happened because I'm like, okay, it's just all right. So what's next, kind of thing. But more or less, okay, it will get done.
Hmm.
And it will get accomplished. The only thing that sucks, let's put it out there, is those that look to hire attorney. It's expensive because they charge you for every single thing. So you send them a 2 email asking yes or no, $20. You on a phone call for 5 minutes, $50 or $100 or whatever their fees are. Each fee raised for attorney. Attorneys are very expensive. But in my case, if I didn't hire attorney, how would this even get done?
Right.
I have no idea what a stipulation was until I found out about her. They put these penal codes 583.001 type C. What the hell is that? I mean, if they put all these legal stuff, they should have like a link that says what it means in layman's terms. Like, okay, it means this, but we need you to follow this, and these are how you do it. So it's a good thing I did hire this attorney. I think looking back, and this is what comes to this morning. I was thinking about this whole thing. You know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever it may have been, I wasn't financially able to take care of this matter. Even though it's very infuriating dealing with this, I'm at the right time to financially take care of this matter because you hire an attorney to facilitate paperwork, which costs money. So obviously, I had to trust the process. I'm where I should be at the right time because I have the financial means to hire an attorney and pay for her to finish this case. Because 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I wasn't in that position to actually think about doing it. But now I am. So that's what I'm about creating thoughts. I created positivity because, hey, great, I'm at the opportunity to take care of this. Isn't that wonderful?
Hmm.
Versus, I can't believe this happens. He's getting rejected. I mean, eventually, we'll find out why and we'll proceed forward with getting that done. Who
Yeah.
knows, right?
Yeah. So my question to this is, I think you may have answered this. Why wasn't again this done years ago? I mean, I know we shouldn't be going back to that, and we should not be looking back or going back to the past. But I'm just curious too. Why wasn't it done a long time ago? Because I know you said 2 weeks later you guys filed for divorce.
Face to face reality. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. Okay. I'm very focus driven when I have to be. If I'm not focus driven, it's like most of us. Well, I'll just take care of it later. I'll take care of it later. So my thing was out of sight, out of mind, meaning that just like my credit, like I talked before in our last freestyle about my credit, it was jacked up because I myself didn't at least call the collection people or call not the collection, but call the first party. Hey, look, this is my situation. I can't afford this. Things that came up. Can you work something with me? And 9 times out of 10, I probably got this thing rectified 5 or 10 years ago. I wouldn't be really working my credit now, with the exception of this anything like the identity theft or something that shouldn't be there working on. But now I'm working on because I didn't take care of my matters. The real root call is this: I was lazy. I did not take care of business. I did not follow up. And obviously, the means to follow up, how do you do it? So if something becomes difficult, what do? You just don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So different than if I give a client a difficult workout, they just don't do it. They won't come back to me again. Or if I make a meal plan too difficult, they don't do it. Human nature is the path leads resistance. So if something becomes difficult or resistance, what we're gonna do? We're gonna fight against it. Well, she filed for divorce and all that stuff. Oh, it was done. Okay, because last time I actually talked to her prior to recently, which is last 2 months, was like maybe 9 years ago, like 2012 or 13, somewhere around there, whatever day it was. And I asked about the divorce. Oh, it's all finalized, right? It's all taken care of. And me, I have like a hunch sometimes about something. So easy when you have the case, and you can go and go online, look it up, and obviously this legal mumbo jumbo, who understands it? But the reality is I was just lazy. I was not taking care of my business. I didn't follow up, and obviously I'm the reason why it lasted so long. I'm the reason why this is the way it is. No one else is to blame.
So you file it and then you have to follow up on it.
Well, in this
Is that how
case,
it
so it
goes?
depends. Who's the petitioner, who's the respondent? So in this
Mm.
case, she's a petitioner, I'm the respondent. So
Oh.
respondent means I have to submit certain documentations, and obviously her being in L.A., Riverside, wherever she was or is now, I'm being in Bay Area, San Francisco. It's not easy to hand someone paperwork. You gotta find someone to deliver it. It's more difficult once you move out that county.
Hmm.
It really is. So all those out there that are, either going to file for divorce or, getting married, get your shit set up right. That's how I'm going to put it. Because if you're going to get
Yeah.
married and obviously you want to be married forever, I would suggest sign a prenup. There's nothing wrong with that because it just makes sure everything's lined up correctly. Doesn't mean we're going to get a divorce. I mean, a lot of people do prenups and stay together for a very long time or forever, but it's just getting everything lined up. So if things do go awry or you guys don't get along or, people want to go separate ways, something is signed and ready to go. Because I'm fortunate enough. We don't have anything together. We have zero assets together. We never even had a bank account together. We don't, I haven't talked to her, seen her in years. Right. So for us to have anything together is non-existent at this point. Right. But it's just a process. All we want is dissolution, and nullity means just dissolve it, and nullity like it never existed. And we don't have any assets together. But if you're going to get married, get sign a prenup. There's nothing wrong with that. You
Yeah.
don't want to go through this because at the end of the day, who makes money off of this? The attorney. The attorney is not filing paperwork. The attorney is not typing everything in. They have an assistant that's doing all the work. And every time the document gets typed in, it's like 150, $200 for a document. That I could literally go online and do it myself. I just don't know. It's been so long. How do you navigate these trenches? But if you're getting married, sign a prenup, get everything in order. You're better that way. It's a lot better that way. And if you're going through divorce, hire an attorney because you will need one just because you still understand what to do. If you can afford one and all parties agreement, meaning you, him, or her, or whatever, go to a paralegal because at least you can facilitate some simple paperwork. Because it really is, if we just went to court, her and I, 10, 15 years ago, and just said we want to get rid of marriage, nothing's going on, done. Because the legal system does not want to get involved in all this. They are already full with their. That's what I don't understand about this judge. Why he can't assign, accept it. All counties are full now, especially with COVID going on. Every county is full of paperwork. Okay, this thing was so old, it's set there, and they should have pretty much the judge, whoever first started this case, should basically closed it because it's set there for so long, but it hasn't been closed. It's still there. Matter of fact, it's so old you can't even look the documents up online. You have to go to the courthouse and get them. That's how old it is.
It's interesting sometimes how it's under. What am I trying to say? Oh, that it's hard to understand how the system work, or we just, we think we know, but we really don't know. And most especially if it doesn't go our way, then we tend to not understand it even more. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, because sometimes I just go with it or I just go with the flow. But again, it does depend on the situation. Like, my friend who um got hit while she was riding her bike,
Hmm.
she got hit by a car. And I think when she got the police report, it stated that it was her fault. What?
Right.
Right. So we were trying to understand this. So, anyways, so she was given an advice. She ended up getting a lawyer, but and she's sitting at home with a fracture on her back, and she's bruised up. But we're trying to understand and trying to figure this out. Well, how was it the other person's? Why? How is it that it's her fault when she's riding the bike, minding her business, and then a car hits her and drags her bike? She's lucky to be alive.
Hmm.
But they went by the statement of the driver of the car.
Mhm.
So, it's just stuff like that where we're just like, we don't understand that. I don't get it.
Yeah, and the first thing will say, the ignorance of the law is no exception. That's the first thing courts will say. Well, you should know the law. You ride a bike.
Right.
Right, I'm not saying it's your friend's fault for getting hit. Okay, I'm not
Yeah,
saying it
yeah.
at all. Right, I'm just saying that's what they'll say because obviously whatever statement the driver said because your friend had to go to the hospital was what they took down, and obviously that's the fault. That's why you hire an attorney or someone that understands the law. Okay, you hire someone that can help you because if you don't, then you basically don't know what to do. You can get sued. You can not get what you're entitled for. You don't know the loopholes. And that's why you hire a professional for. That's why in my case, I spent a whole day talking to attorneys, calling them up out the blue, telling my case, because you need someone to help you. You need someone to
Mhm.
understand this stuff. I mean, we don't. That's not what we do. Like we're not in the court system every day. The stipulation thing, I had no idea they even existed up until I had to do it myself. So for us, as just the average person, we don't understand all the laws. There's so many laws out there. It'll take a lifetime to figure them all out. And not just that, different laws per county, different laws per state, different tax laws. Oh my goodness, so many laws out there.
And that's why it gets frustrating when you don't
Yeah, it does
understand what's going
because
on.
here's this point is, let's take your friend. Your friend on a bike is way less powerful than someone driving a car. So obviously you would think the person that hit me is at fault, right? And I'm not because again, I'm not saying one way or another. I'm playing devil's
That's the
advocate.
first thing
That's
we'd
the first thing he
see.
thinks.
Yeah.
Well, here's a car hits a person. The car's responsible because you hit a person.
Right.
And the rule is usually if you hit a person, you're responsible, right? And obviously the rule applies if you're in a crosswalk. So if you get hit in a crosswalk on a green light, meaning for you to cross, you get hit, the driver's automatically responsible. No difference if someone hits you in the back. The person that hit you in the back is automatically responsible. Regardless if you slammed on the brakes or not, they're responsible. So that's what we look at. So it's like I'm the victim, right? Automatically, because the car was bigger than her, the bike and her, I'm the victim. You should be liable because you hit me. Doesn't matter
Right.
if she rode in front of the car, jumped out in front of the car. I don't know if you've ever seen those YouTube videos that are pretty astonishing. So in other countries like Russia, especially China, they in America it's not as popular, but some people do. They have those front and rear dash cams because what happened is there's a lot of insurance fraud in those kind of countries. So what people would do, I never forget this. The car stopped. The person had to be maybe 30 feet away. The car stopped. The person turns, looks to the car, and runs directly to the car, jumps on top of the hood, and smashes the head into the hood. So people drive around with front-facing cameras because people want to commit front insurance fraud. Someone jumps out in front of the car, or someone pretends falls on the ground, says I got hit, or someone like this case runs on the car and hits the head and said, "Car hit me,"
Oh
so they
my
can collect
god.
money. Right? That's what people
Yeah.
do when, I read this book in Truth versus Falsehood, and certain countries they're so impoverished they have to figure a way and schemes how to get money. So one scheme is to commit insurance fraud. You jump out in front of a car, or you say the car hit me, then that person has to pay. Because here it is, pedestrian car. So you have these front facing cameras. So that way that doesn't happen. So you go to court, hey, I have a camera. This is what happened. And justice, hey, you're lying. I should arrest you. So that's what we look at because, just the obvious is the objects. But in this case, the biggest thing is how do you navigate the sucker? How do you navigate? What if your friend didn't have money for a lawyer? So what happens? You're doing this. You'll find a fly by night dude. So what I mean by fly by night, you'll find a person that either does pro bono or if whatever settlement, they get a huge percentage, like they get 30, 50, 60%. Okay. That's not typical lawyer. Typical lawyer is like me. I called up, I pay a retainer fee, and it's my lawyer. Versus I call them fly by night. It's in turn it only pays if you win, right? Which I don't know. That means they don't take on a certain amount of cases, right? They don't take every single case. Like if I want to give my case, I'm not sure when because I'm the respondent and she's petitioner. But you have to be careful about that too. But if she can find an attorney that does that, be pro bono or someone that is cost percentage, if they win, great because lawyers are very expensive.
It can cost a lot of money, and the more if you want to question it, and if you don't agree with it, the more work it's going to be for the lawyers, and then or the attorneys, and then the more money you have to put out.
Yeah, just like me happened to me. My geese getting rejected, and then at the end of the day, who's getting paid? The attorney's getting paid. And that's fine. I paid the person to do a job, and that's fine. But I didn't expect it to be like this. I was expecting to be, a couple of maybe $1,000 the first time, just get paperwork set up, all that stuff goes, and we're done, right?
Hmm.
I was hoping because of COVID, no court appearance. I hope we don't have to appear in court because then I have to fly down to LA. You have to stay overnight. You would be on time. You have to get a rental car and all this kind of mess, and more money even spent on this. I hope it's just something very small that we can get rectified very easily and get it finalized. And that's it. 'Cause I'm pretty sure the attorney's like, man, I'm tied up with this case. Like, I want to get paid. I want to move on, and I'm going to go to bigger cases for me. That's probably what she's
Yeah.
saying herself. I wouldn't doubt it because it's very frustrating.
Yeah. Well, at least you know what, you're not feeling as down as you did the first time.
No, I think that's why I said earlier about creating the life I want. It's just that it's a good time to take care of this mess. No difference than, it's really kind of rejuvenating. So I think I talked about before. As you guys see, what I talk about is things I'm working on. So I talked about my credit, and I want to get my credit fixed. And I told this client the other day, actually yesterday we had a coaching call. And all of us want it now. I want my credit to be fixed now. I want to be divorced now. I want to have a new job now. I want to get a better marriage now. I want to get a better relationship now. I want this now. Okay, so I said, look, you have a lot of things on your plate, and obviously you get direction, all different you get a lot of knowledge from a lot of different directions. That's the way I want to put it. And I said, you know what? Let's think about this. It's a two-story house, right? He says, yes. Okay. So two-story house is brick, right? How many bricks in a two-story house? He says, well, there's a lot. I said, of course. So what it really does is the way things work in life is like the bricklayer. To get to that two-story house, it takes one brick, a second brick, a third brick, a fourth brick. You guys get the idea. The more bricks you have, the bigger the house. That's just things in life as a process. Things in life are like that one brick. So we didn't talk about this before, but Gloria and I have hit over 1,000 downloads. So thank you guys out there. But what it took is the one brick of doing the first episode, the second brick of continue to keep doing it, and let the rest trust the process of doing the rest. And we hit that number because our goal was to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, and we already beat it. So that's great on you guys for downloading the podcast. But the point again is things you're going through right now is a process.
Hmm.
And it's all about the work you put down, just like that one brick, two brick, three brick, four brick that get you to that two-story house, or get you to that new job, or that better relationship, or that better, that better, whatever you want in life that's better than what you have. It's about the start and just going through the process, right?
Yep.
That's
And
all.
I think, I know this is easier said than done. I believe we've talked about this a few times in our previous podcast, and probably even when we had Michelle on. You just have to really trust the process. You really, really have to trust that process. Otherwise, like, what you're saying is with your client, it's everything. Your client just want everything done now, and that's normal. Is it a she? She's not the only one. We all want something done now. When we want something, I want it now. But I think there's certain situations, there's going to be some things that we can't have right now at this moment when we want it, and it does take time, and it does take some process, and I think that we just have to trust it. And like I said, I know it's going to be easier said than done, but it will happen. And just look at you in your situation. The first time the divorce was rejected, what happened? How did you feel, right? The
Oh
second time,
man,
and then now the third time, you sound a lot better than the first time.
yeah. Well, I think this is the second time I got rejected, so hope third time's a charm. So one more
Oh,
time, let's
that's right.
see.
This is only the
Third time's a
second.
charm. Let's
I'm
see.
jumping ahead. Okay, yes.
You jumped the gun. I don't want to be rejected a third time. I want to be finalized a third time.
That's right. So third
You-
time's the charm. Okay, that's what we want to say.
I go back to my earlier statement. If I tried to accomplish this 10 years ago, I wasn't ready.
Hmm.
If I tried to accomplish it 3 years ago, I wasn't ready. Ready doesn't mean, physical, mental ready. Yeah. If someone that says, hey, Juan, do you want this yes or no sign or delete it? It'd been okay, right? I would have said, yes, no problem. It's because, first of all, I didn't take care of my business. You didn't take care of things that are important. You let it lack, and this is what happens. It's the buildup. So the buildup is long. If I had taken this 5, 10 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about it now. It been done, but I didn't. And this is the root cause: is the buildup. The cause is for 13 years I didn't take care of my business, and now I got this mountain in front of me that I have to conquer. Very, very easy to say that. That's exactly what happened.
Hmm.
But again, I'll go back to my earlier statement, which was that at the time I wasn't financially ready to take care of this, but now I am.
Hmm. and
So it
and
means the process has started and I'm where I should be at the right time.
and you're working on it, and
I'm working
you're
on it.
working on a process. And again, that's another thing too, is that there is going to be situations like this where, maybe a long time ago you just didn't take care of it, you just didn't have either the time, the money, just whatever. And then it will catch up to you. It will.
Hmm.
And when it does, it will get frustrating. But
Yeah,
you can get you can get it done like what you're doing right now.
I will be able to get it done. It will be done soon. So I'm not worried
Yeah.
about it. I think
No.
this is the perfect time to get this resolved, or just anything in life that I wanted that I've been procrastinating on. Just get it done now while I have the time. I'm home, and I'm working from home now permanently, pretty much. And like I said, my credit has improved already. A few things that were on there have actually got off, so my credit has jumped a few points. And I'm just constantly following up, and obviously I want to get the rest rectified. Get a recent moral letters out, dispute forms, or whatever it may be. But it's the fact that you have to start working on it. So if you want to change or you want to be something different, it starts with the work.
Mhm.
Whatever it is you want, you got to work on it to get there. Then 6 months, 1 year. I mean, I'm probably sure 1 year from now, I look back like, whew, or I'm not even thinking about what I had to do to get rid of this divorce or adjust my credit. But you'll be able to look back like, it won't be important. So 6 months from now, I'm working on my credit all the time. 6 months from now, it won't be important. Something else will be important.
And you know
1 year from
what?
now, I'll look back, but like I'm not gonna never go through that again.
Yeah, and you know what though? When you really think about this, things happen for a reason. It really does, and there's reasons for everything. And I think that what had happened then and what's happening now, it's kind of like, you've learned from it. I mean, you may not know back then that, okay, why it's happening or why this is. We always say that there's always a reason for everything. And it could take a while until you really figure things out, until you really know what that real reason is. And it could be that you just needed to grow more, you know?
When you're speaking about something, you hit kind of a nail around the head. I had a conversation with somebody the other day. He asked me a question. So I got a question. Like what part in your life would you ever go back and change? I mean, like in movies, they always go back and change one thing. Then obviously that one thing makes a better life because obviously, they changed that one thing.
Hmm.
You know what? I thought about it for not even a second. First thing I said, well, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to 10 years from now, 20 years from now, wherever time I thought was a bad decision in my life to change that. Because anytime you just change it just a minute millimeter, it's totally changed your end trajectory. I read this book called Atomic Habits. In the first chapter, you talk about an airplane. So, an airplane going from here to New York is on a certain path, right? Whatever the path is. If you just adjust 1 degree, I mean, again, the airplane is going from San Jose to New York. If the airplane just 1 degree, he'll end up way off. End up somewhere in North Carolina, just 1 degree off. So why would you want to change where you are right now? Because you should be there. Matter of fact, at this point in my life, I'm actually amped and vigored to take care of things I never took care of, and so I don't go back. I can
Hmm.
actually trust and be more in tune with it now. Financially, I have the time to take care of these matters because they require finances. Second, now I have the fortitude to just like, you know what? Because it's easy to say, man, damn, this thing is too frustrating. Forget about it. Right. And now I'm go do something that requires me to have fun. But now I say to myself, I'm actually gonna follow through and change it to the end. Follow through the whole process. That makes a big difference. Huge difference, actually. And that's why I say, you guys, where you're right now like Gloria said, it's about trusting the process on where I should be at the right time. Because 10 years ago, didn't have the mental fortitude to take advantage of this. And second thing is that everything I've been through the course of my life, being married young, low self-esteem, low confidence, um, being molested as a kid, all these things were actually a benefit for me. Most people, and actually, I forgot to ask. I forgot to talk about this. I filed bankruptcy when I was 25. So I've been married. I have 2 kids. I have low self-esteem, low confidence, been molested, filed for bankruptcy, and that was all for my benefit today. And I thank God all that happened for me because it was for a reason, for a purpose.
Hmm. That's with a lot of people too. If you look at, I mean, I'm sure we have a lot of listeners out there who can relate to that. If you look at your life now, you wouldn't be who you are today if you hadn't gone through all those experiences in your life. And it's a part of growing up too. And there's any changes that you want made and that needs to be done, or just whatever it is in your life, you have to trust the process, and you know that it'll happen, but you also have to put in the work. Because if you want change, you have to take actions, right? And as you take actions, it's not going to happen right away. Things doesn't happen overnight. You just
If you
kind
want
of
to change, yeah,
go
go
with
ahead.
the
I'm
go
sorry.
with the face. Just, go with the flow.
Yeah, and if you want to change, just take that bricklayer, one brick at a time,
There you go. Take it one day at a time.
and one
It's
brick at a time.
going to happen. And you know I'm happy to say that that's actually happening to someone I know, and was a really good friend of mine. That she finally, I felt like she finally woke up one day and says, I really need to change. That the changes that she's been wanting to happen in her life for the past several years, um it's going to happen. And now she's taking actions for it. So now it's just having the patience and just let everything sink in first, because it's kind of like a shock for her. But I've asked her how she feels about it and what she feels now after actually taking an action. She feels great. She feels
Awesome.
really good about it. And she said, you know what? I have no regrets. I do not regret any decisions I've made now, because now I know what's more important is myself and taking care of myself, because I can't live miserable for another year or so, or for the rest of my life. And I didn't want to go back and kind of talk about the past, right? Because now she's moving forward. So now it's just, we've talked about it, and she's taking it one day at a time, because you're taking a step forward now. And each step you take is towards your happiness and what you'd like to do with your life, something that you've been wanting to do for many years. Now you just have to take that, and then really trust the process, because it will happen. And she's
Will happen.
feeling it.
It's really ironic how finally she's going through something, this person.
Hmm.
And it probably has been going through for a very long time, very probably years and years of suffering. And it's really inspiring that one day she wakes up and says, enough is enough. I want to change. And the reason why that's a great thing, because I'm quite sure people have told her through her whole life, she's been dealing with the situation or whatever, how long it's been.
Hmm.
You need to do this. You need to do that. You should do this. You should do that. It only took for her to make a decision that gave her more energy to make the decision. So what I mean is that even though everybody says should do this, should do that, or whatever it may have been, it disempowers anybody because they didn't make the decision themselves. Once your person made the decision to actually make a change on their own, whatever started that fire or started that ignition, doesn't matter. What matters is that this person made the decision on their own, giving her a greater force than someone else telling her what to do, and she's going to make a better decision in life and more energy actually complete it through.
Hmm.
Like some people can tell me all the years, oh, your credit, your credit, your credit. Yeah, 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 yeah. But until I actually did it, because once I made the decision to take care of it, I had a lot more energy to keep doing it versus someone telling me to do it.
Yeah.
Makes a difference there.
Yeah. No, and it's true, because now she's motivated to keep moving forward. What should she do next? What should she do now? And I'm very happy for her. And I know if she was listening to this, she'll know who I'm talking about. I can't, I don't even know what to say, because I feel like, gosh, I've been waiting for this for how many years? And in all these years, we've always talked about it and told her that you're right. There's so many people are telling her so many things of what to do. Um, but what I've told her, and she's heard this from me and our other friends, is that she's going to hear all kinds of other stuff from other people and advices and telling her what to do. But at the end of the day, it's going to have to come from her. That decision will be her. She's going to have to want it. To make something happen, she's going to have to want it. And at that time, she wasn't ready. And you know what? Whatever it was that woke her up one day and says, I'm done and I'm ready to move on. Whatever that was, I'm glad it happened for her. And here she is. So I'm happy. I'm happy for her. Like I said, I've been waiting for this for so many years and it's happening. But
Hell
anyways,
yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, again, this is about, it looks like, we didn't have any topic, but it sounds like it could be just trusting the process.
I think so. I think at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's drop trust in the process. See, and I read this. So I read the Daily Stoic, and it talked about today. And let me get it out here, and I'll tell you what it's called. The topic today is called "I always have a mental reverse clause," and it goes like this. I'm read you guys a quick 3 to 4 sentence kind of paragraph. What's that? What's that's backup option? If a friend betrays us, our reverse clause is to learn from how this happened and how to figure this person's mistake. If we're thrown in prison, our reverse clause is that we can refuse to be broken by this change or event or try to be of service to our fellow prisoners. When a technical glitch erases our work, our reverse clause is that we can start fresh, do it better this time. Our progress can be impeded or disrupted, but the mind can always be changed. It retains the power to redirect the path. Part of this is remembering the usual course of things. Murphy's Law states that if anything can go wrong, it will. So we keep this reverse clause handy because we can know we're probably going to have to use it no matter where we go. So the point is that we have to trust the process, and that if things don't go the way we want them to go, we always have the reverse clause, always a backup plan, and that allows you guys to learn more about yourself or things around you. So I hope you loved and always have listened to another Life's a Shuffle podcast. This is Ron Johnson, your life coach, motivational speaker, health coach, and I'm out there to help you and change things we look at one step at a time, or one brick at a time.
And thank you for listening to our podcast and all our other episodes that we've done so far, and thank you for supporting us and your continued support. Again, this is Gloria, your life coach. Thank you for listening to another episode of Life's a Shuffle.